started talking.
Oh, that's okay. No worries.
We're excited to be here today. We're logging on, and we welcome everybody that's out there on the call already. And we are joined today by Stephanie. We're so excited to have her, and Brittany's over here too. So we'll just do some quick introductions. Today we are talking about connecting with other bariatric patients, and this is our guest. Stephanie Ristow is One Hungry Mother from Instagram, and she has a passion about this. I mean, like the ideas and all the things that she's done to try to help bring the bariatric surgery community together is just, can't even really say. It's amazing. And we're looking forward to talking with her. Yes. And for those of you who don't know us, Brittany, you went away, make sure they know who you are. Brittany and I have been doing these calls for probably a year and a half now, and we usually do weekly live calls. We have all different kinds of topics. If you guys choose to, we can put our link that you guys are welcome to follow us on our Crowdcast channel, where you can get continual updates whenever we post new live videos. And with that, I just want to say we're going to welcome Stephanie. Stephanie also has two different platforms that she basically has helped grow from birth that we want to talk about too as well. You know, the Bariatric Book Club and the Bariatric Society. So we want to hear about those. So Stephanie, in that, just come on in and join us here and tell us all about you.
Yeah, so I had weight loss surgery. I had VSG February of 2021. I started my process in about July of 2020. With my insurance, I had to do a 6-month pre-surgery weight loss program. So July was really whenever I had my first consult with the surgeon and started digging in. And I realized there was just a lot of information that I wanted to learn and a lot of head work that I was going to need to do. I think for anybody, if you get to the point of needing weight loss surgery, there's a lot of like mental unpacking that needs to happen in the process. And so I had a big old stack of books that I wanted to read, and reached out to the community on Instagram to see if anybody would want to join me in a book club. And it exploded to a lot more work than what could be a, just hobby item. So turned it into a subscription. And now with the Bariatric Book Club, we pick a book and send it out at the beginning of the month, and members read the book throughout the month. And then at the end of the month, we have a series of Zoom sessions, and other weight loss surgery patients host a session and ask the questions that I've written, where we tie whatever book we're reading into our weight loss surgery journey. So as I'm sure many of you guys are aware, there aren't that many memoirs or books specific to weight loss surgery, but there's a lot of content out there about female empowerment and, owning your own narrative, and memoirs about big-bodied people to help us feel seen and be able to relate. So that's how I started the book club, and that's thriving right now. It's honestly my favorite week of the month is book club week, because I get to hop on a call with other people that are going through the same thing as me. And we almost always talk about poop. We almost always talk about like improving our habits, but it's just a really nice touchstone, so that even if I'm like slipping back into my own life, I'm pulled back into the community on a monthly basis and reminded of the things that I'm trying to change or update or improve in myself. So that's the Bariatric Book Club. We're on Instagram at Bariatric Book Club. Super creative, I know. And people can sign up online at bariatricbookclub.com. So that's one way to get involved in the community. And then the other way, so Bariatric Retreats, that was like, honestly, I was chatting with some girls. We were considering doing a weekend away in the mountains or something. And then I'm friends with everybody in this community, and I didn't want to leave anybody out. And so it just kept growing and growing. And ultimately, I put out a survey to see if anybody would be interested in some kind of retreat or summer camp, and there were a bunch of different options. And the winning result was a bougie retreat in San Diego, which happened this last November with about 200 of our bariatric besties. It was awesome. I'll show you guys a recap video in just a second, but this next we have one coming up in May. We're still selling tickets for that one at the Walt Disney World Dolphin Resort in Orlando, Florida. So that's May 5th through 8th. And it's 4 days of activities and workouts and sessions. And there's corporate sponsors there, including ProCare. And it's just a blast. You get to meet incredible friends, make bariatric besties. There are girls that came out of the last retreat and are moving in together. There's people that are in text strings that text each other every single day. So it's just been amazing. So yeah, and now we're starting to plan the fall retreat for 2022, but I can't release any details on that yet. But yeah, my biggest thing is I think that peer-to-peer relationships in the weight loss surgery journey are like the number one predicator.
Oh my gosh, you're going to kill us, Steph.
Oh no, what happened?
Did we freeze? Brittany, I think, can you hear me, Steph?
I can hear you, yeah.
I cannot hear Brittany.
Did she freeze?
Oh no, Britt, I think you froze again.
Sorry, I thought we lost you.
I'm like, I'm not going to kill nobody. Not today.
It just froze for a second. Oh.
So.
Sorry, you guys.
So, you know, I think.
Let me. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. It kind of froze for a second again.
Yeah, sorry.
Technical life, right? Yeah. So Stephanie, you know, the whole bariatric retreat thing, the one that we've done and the one that's coming up, you know, tell us about what you learned through that experience, and tell us a little bit about what the takeaways were. The thing is Stephanie kind of had an experience too with that whole thing with the planning.
Yeah, so I left my marketing director job to plan this event and really like dive in with both feet into the bariatric world. And so for over a year, I was planning this event in November. And when I landed in San Diego, I got a text from another speaker that I had been with the week before in Florida while I was scoping out venues for May. That she had gotten COVID, and because I had been with her, I went straight from the airport to urgent care, got tested, and found out that I also had COVID. So from San Diego, rented a car, drove my weeping butt back up to Oregon as fast as I could to get in front of a camera and record part of the keynote, but missed our inaugural retreat, unfortunately. So that was a huge bummer. I think the silver lining to that, because you can find one in anything, is that I got some good practice in letting go and like trusting a team and like the stuff that I had set up ahead of time. So that was good because that's actually a big challenge for me. I got to recover from COVID and watch from afar and just like feel the love digitally from everybody, which was kind of wonderful. It was really sad though. So the weeks prior to this next retreat, I will be huddled away, hiding from the world to make sure that doesn't happen again. But at this next retreat, we will be requiring negative COVID tests up to 2 days prior for people to enter. It's just a tough situation we're in right now, trying to gather during a pandemic. But I think there's a level of, calculated risk that we all take whenever we do that. So that was one of the big takeaways. Also, everybody had so much fun on site, but it's really important to us to make sure that we're getting the word out a little bit wider than what Instagram naturally serves us up to. So I think we have some pretty good awareness on Instagram for the bariatric retreat, but outside of that, people don't even know that this is happening. So one of our key learnings is making sure that we're getting the retreat out into the world and making sure that we're supporting those on-site connections. A lot of people showed up with bariatric besties already that they had known or talked to online for, you know, a year or more. But then there are definitely people who are, you know, pretty fresh to the community. So we want to make sure that at this next retreat, we're creating opportunities for people to meet and grow together on site so that they're walking away with brand new bariatric besties that they wouldn't have known without being there. So
yeah, definitely.
It's and Brittany and I are excited because we're going to get to join you. We're really excited about that.
Yes.
Excited.
And have the opportunity actually to be able to speak and be a part of that piece, which I'm excited about too. So thank you for that. And we have all kinds of comments here. It looks like, I'm just going to read some of them. It looks like, let's kind of go up here to the beginning. We have lots of people saying hi. Enid says hi. She's on a lot of these calls. Hello. Cheryl says hi. She's been on with us before. Michelle, hello. We also have, it looks like, Enid said she likes that you're unpacking your mental thoughts, like you were talking about that earlier. Rachel said, Brittany,
that was when I had a delay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was not important. Tara says, hello, glad to be here, ladies. And then on Facebook, we have some comments too, which, Brittany, I'll let you read from there since you're on that platform.
Yeah. Hi, Janine. And we just want to say hi to her. And we have Marcia too. Hello, Lexington Park, Maryland. Very nice. I wonder if it's probably cold there too, right?
Yeah.
And then Alicia or Ashley. Oh, that's pretty. How the spelling.
Yeah, Ashley. Yeah.
Ashley on Insta, if anyone wants to chat. 16 months post-op. Yes, you guys, please feel free to put your Instagram handles if that's something that you're part of, is the Instagram community, because
absolutely.
I don't know, I never realized before the bariatric retreat that so many people were on that platform from this. And Michelle says, I'm hoping to attend the fall retreat. Can't wait to hear more. And that's awesome. I think this is a perfect segue to Stephanie. I actually have the video pulled up as well. I don't know if it'd be better if I played it or you played it. Either one is great.
Go for it.
So I'm going to try, and please let me know if you can hear the sound here in a moment. But I just want to, like, as a segment into this, Stephanie, tell us about this video that you created on the San Diego Bariatric Retreat.
Why don't you pull it up so I can see which one you've got?
Okay.
There's a few.
See here. I'm going to do share my screen. And I'm going to share audio.
The team has created a few recap videos from the last event.
It's going to be this one that is...
Awesome. Yeah, so this is just a recap video to kind of give the vibe of what the last retreat was. And I think, you know, it blew away all of our wildest dreams for just how much fun people had and the connections that they had on site. And you know, with each of these, we're learning and trying to make it even better than the last one. But I think the connection is the most important part. You know, we put a lot of emphasis on the resources that we provide, the speakers that are going to be on site. This spring retreat, the content lineup is unbelievable. Like, it's honestly my dreams come true. But yeah, those connections that happen on site, I think, are what is the most important piece. And that's stuff that happens in real life, you know, when you're sitting around the campfire or like out in the Adirondack chairs after sessions have ended or things like that. So it's been pretty amazing.
Well, the video was about 3 minutes and 2 minutes, 50 seconds. And I also want to just say, look for Stephanie in these videos, look for Brittany and I, and look for our prime event. We hosted a why is my mind going blank?
Party.
You had a s'mores party? Yeah.
Yes, we hosted a s'mores party. So the bonfire, and look for us at the bonfire and the s'mores party. So I'm going to press play, guys. Hopefully you're able to hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it.
you got nowhere else to go. No, I hold you till the sun comes in the morning light. Yeah, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go.
For all your actually the exact same reason we made one decision that changed our lives. It's the best decision I've ever made for myself, by myself, and I my life starting this journey.
So Brenda, we can probably pause there.
Okay.
Pretty epic echo. Ashley, you do not need to up your clothing and makeup game if you are going to attend in the fall. I think it's so funny. There was a lot of chatter at this last retreat prior because I think people were having so much fun with, their Shein hauls and figuring out what they were going to wear for this like reveal moment, post-pandemic, post-weight loss surgery. But I think my big takeaway for everybody is come as you are. There are people of all shapes and sizes, all, colors and creeds. And we want everybody to feel comfortable there. There at this last event, there were a lot of fake lashes, a lot of bougie outfits, and there is no shade in any of that because you should come as whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. But it's certainly not a requirement, and certainly not something that I will be doing because I'm a awkward mother of two from Oregon that does not know how to put on fake lashes. So, I tried.
There was a good mix of people there, I feel like. There was a lot of people that was super into makeup, and you're right, they got super dressed up. And then there were some people that were a little bit more laid back and, like on vacation mode, a little more casual.
Yeah.
And it's whatever you're most comfortable with. No one's going to judge you there. So
Absolutely.
We do have a question, though, and I don't think we can answer it, but I wanted to make sure that you saw it. It says, where is the fall retreat?
I
think it's a surprise, guys.
Right now. Yeah. I cannot answer that right now. We're working on contracting, so I promise as soon as we have it locked in, I will be announcing that. But I will say, like, if there's a world in which you can swing the May retreat, we have a very big surprise coming up in the next month, and I'm concerned that we're going to sell out immediately. So if there's a world in which you can swing the May retreat, go to the May retreat. It is going to be incredible. And that is all I can say. And I'm really bad at secrets.
So I don't want to ruin the surprise, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But if they wanted to, like, let's say they can't make it to May, and they wanted to learn more information about fall when that information does come out, where would be the best place to look? On the Instagram page or?
Yeah, definitely follow us on Instagram, but also that link that I posted in there on bariatricsociety.com. If they go in there, just put in your email address, and then you'll get the email notifications about what's going on. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff to come. We're relaunching our website in a couple of weeks, probably. I almost said a couple months, but we're moving fast. And we'll have a lot of resources and a full events page where everything that's happening across the community, whether it's our event or not, will be hosted, because we want to my big thing is I want there to be a central repository for all of this so that anybody entering the bariatric space like has a place where they can find out about everything. There's so much great stuff cropping up across the bariatric world right now, but it's also disparate, right? Like unless you're really in Instagram and following just all of the right things, you're not going to see all of that stuff. So my goal is to make that an easier process for anybody who's in the weight loss surgery world already or trying to consider it. So that's what we're getting after. There will not be an online option for the May retreat, so there will not be a virtual option this time around. We're hoping to bring that back whenever we circle back to the fall retreat again later this year. So stay tuned for that. I know that's tough in the time of a pandemic right now, but I will say too, like one of the biggest benefits of the retreat is being on site with everybody, and as much as you feel safe doing so, snuggling all of your friends.
There was some comments too. It says, when you were talking about your lashes, Ashley says, same stuff, LOL, only from Kentucky. And Michelle says, LOL, I belly dance and I can put on lashes in a minute. I love that.
She's a pro.
I wish. I did a live session trying to get on some fake lashes for a date night, and it was comical. Like by the end, I just had black makeup all across my face and had to wash it and start over.
That's hilarious.
Not my cutest look.
So a couple people are just talking about different options. So, I just kind of keep an eye out there, in the future, there may be other things. And I'm kind of curious too. I know, Stephanie, you're working on your new platform for the Bariatric Society, being able to help people whenever there's other events, not just ones hosted by the Bariatric Society, correct? And you were talking about that. My question is too, is whenever we talked one of the last times, I think I've heard several professionals too, that same side, ask about a professional site. Like it was maybe even on one of these calls. Will you be hosting or showing any of those on your site, like professional events that are bariatric related? Not
potentially, we're building out the resources right now, so we might have a toggle like filter between clinical resources versus patient-centric. Patient-centric is always going to be our focus because that's like the center of our mission, right, is to create those peer-to-peer connections amongst patients. But, I think you raise a good point that there's a need out there on the clinical side as well. And I think it speaks to the need for the clinical world of bariatrics to better understand the importance of those patient-to-patient connections and what resources are needed. So I was just in for my 1-year checkup with my surgeon, and I was explaining that I had started all of this stuff, and I had let slip, which I didn't mean to, but I may have offended her, whatever. I was like, there just aren't very many resources out there for bariatric patients. And so I created this to be a resource. And she was like, well, what do you mean there aren't a lot of resources? Like, we gave you guys a workbook, and we're here if you have questions. And I was like, well, that's different. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't think that there's a strong understanding. If you haven't gone through weight loss surgery, you don't really understand the way that it upends every corner of your life, and that it should upend every corner of your life, right? Like, we're rewiring our brains in terms of the things that bring us nurturing and joy. Like, it used to be every night I'd put the kids to bed and go grab my snacks and sit in front of the TV and have what I now know is a binge. Back then, I just thought it was nighttime snacking, no big deal. And, I've had to find new ways to nurture myself, because I can still do that. I can still have a nighttime binge even after weight loss surgery. And so that's the head work that I'm talking about, that, we have to work out those components and figure out, how we let go of that best friend that we had that was food. So that's the biggest piece for me.
It looks like Enid has some comments too, and I'm trying to make sure I understand. She says, question, did you recommend to open another page on your media for your bariatric journey? I have some to share, but I haven't started regarding my process and mental health recipes and workouts.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on what your current personal page is used for, who's following that. So I started a separate page for my weight loss surgery journey, One Hungry Mother, because the people that followed me on my personal page were following for pictures of my kids or their professional connections in the marketing world. And so I just didn't feel comfortable posting half naked pictures of myself, in those before and after shots or things like that. So I created a separate page for that reason. Now, I used the same email address in my logins, which, pro tip, if you really are trying to lock down your privacy and you don't want people from your personal life finding you, use a separate email address for your login there. Otherwise, Instagram will recommend your new page to your existing followers, and same with Facebook.
It'll link everything together. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on your comfort level. If the people currently following you are from, Weight Watchers or another weight loss journey that you've gone through, then I don't see any reason to start a new page for that. But if they're friends and family that you're going to be shy about what you share, then start something new. Because at the end of the day, if your social media profiles aren't serving you, then there's no reason to do them. It should just bring you joy and make it possible for you to document your journey.
Yes.
Oh, 100%. She said you answered my questions.
Good.
Stephanie, I would love for you to share, if you feel comfortable, some of your before and after pictures, if you feel comfortable in that.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me share my screen real fast. I go to a Chrome tab so you guys don't see my 500 tabs open right now because it's a little embarrassing.
That's how Brenda and I live.
Yeah, so here's... Oh, this is a video. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
You can show videos too. It probably won't do the sound, and thus there was a button that I could have you exit, and I can tell you where the button is to press if you want sound.
Oh, it's okay. It's just a stream of me losing weight. But here's me at 270 pounds versus 175. Right now I'm at 172, I think. I've pretty much, I think, stopped losing weight, but then it happens. I mean, I'm sure other people who've had surgery on here can attest. You think you're done, and then suddenly you lose 3 pounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's changed my life in every single way. So I happily play with my kids. I'm looking forward to ways to getting outside and working out instead of, dreading it as a chore. It's a thing I get to do.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. And I think it's made me more aware of my body in other ways and my mental health, where before it was all just one lumped together struggle. Now it's, I think because there are parts of me that are getting healthier that I'll notice a change in something and I'm more attuned to it. Or I can sense if I'm starting to go into a dark day, because I do struggle with anxiety and panic disorders. I'm more aware of the cues and the foods and the things that push me into those states. So that's the biggest thing for me. There's another before and after. I know those were fun to look at, but these are my littles, Avery and Oliver. And it was funny, the other day, they were each sitting on one of my feet, they wrapped themselves around a foot, and I was walking around, and my husband was careful, you're going to blow out a knee. They're so heavy now. And I was I used to carry around more than this weight, on my body every day, all day, which is just a crazy realization when that happens. So, yeah, but on my page, I like to post a lot of recipe. Well, not a lot of recipes. Who am I kidding? The extent of a recipe for me is yogurt with nuts and fruit. But there are ideas for food and self-care, and I'm pretty honest about my mental health journey on there as well. So you'll see a lot of stuff about anxiety and panic disorder and how I'm learning to cope through those without using food as a crutch for that as much. I should say as much. You know, I still definitely have those bingy evenings from time to time. I think we all do. But I think I'm more aware of them and it doesn't turn back into a habit. So that's the big difference these days.
And you know, Stephanie, you brought up such a great point too, because I think like my job before coming to ProCare was as a coordinator for a bariatric surgery clinic, and I helped with the pre-assessments before surgery. And so all of our patients would fill out this questionnaire, and then we'd go through it with them. And really and truly, so many people, I don't know what a percentage is because we never did statistics on it, but I would say at least 75 to probably even up to 100%, I don't know. Many people struggle with anxiety and depression. And I feel like, you know, it kind of somehow, sometimes I think it ties in to our eating, because eating is a wonderful way of dealing with emotions. At least I know I've struggled with that myself of, you know, you eat because you're tired, you eat because you're sleepy, you eat because you're bored, you eat because you want some kind of satisfaction. Because I think food too, what I've learned is food does provide some kind of entertainment, you know, value. It has entertainment value. It tastes good. It looks good, you know. And so it's like you said, finding other ways to distract. I don't know if I should use the word distract, but that's kind of true in some ways.
Yeah.
You know, finding other things that you can do, especially for me, I'm kind of like you in that aspect. In the evening times, that's usually one of my hardest times. I can do well throughout the day, and then in the evening times, I don't know if it's like you're kind of like getting to that resting point and you're relaxing and you just want to sit back and
yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's that nurture point of the day, right? Where, you know, willpower really is a diminishing resource, and at the end of the day, it's gone. It sounds dark, but by the end of the day, like, I just don't care about myself anymore. I'm like, my screw it switch is turned completely on, and I'm like, whatever is going to make me feel good right now. And that doesn't change at all with weight loss surgery. So, you know, my strategy these days has been to come up with different habits. So it really was a habit for me, literally, to put the kids down, head straight from my daughter's room into the kitchen to grab whatever I was going to drink, usually even then it was just a glass of water, and then like a snack, usually just the one, and then go sit in front of the TV. And for a while after surgery, I actually removed the TV from the living room because it's right next to the kitchen, and we'd still watch TV, but it would be up in my husband's office so that it wasn't like in proximity to the kitchen, because I felt like that would help. And for me, you know, in journaling and going to therapy, I've really come to understand that like food and television are so tied together for me. Throughout the day, I eat very healthy and I make good decisions. It's that nighttime snacking or that nighttime treat where I'm really trying to, like, you know, nurture myself. So I've come up with other ways to do that.
It's hard to be mindful of what you're putting into your body when your brain is not present, you know, and when you're sitting on the couch watching TV. And that's me personally. I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but I've noticed that even sometimes, you know, I'll have meals by myself. We don't have kids yet. So a lot of the times I will sit in the living room and eat my dinner by myself and watch TV. But I've noticed that I tend to eat more, or I tend to make not so great choices whenever I associate the two of them, because I'm not being as mindful about what's on my plate and what I'm putting in my mouth.
Well, and at that point, you're not making a decision based on fueling your body. You're making a decision based on, like, fueling your heart, right? Like,
yes, exactly. Like, this is my downtime. This is my me time, you know?
Oh, yeah. And they say there's, you know, there's different categories of people. I'm definitely one of those, like, I deserve this. You know,
yeah,
like,
me too. Oh, me too. Yes.
This, right? So, yeah, and it's not bilateral. That's the toughest thing, right? Is that it's not like you can cut food out forever, and it's not like you should stop having treats either. You know, like, life is short. We want to, like, enjoy aspects of our lives. But there's a point at which you're not actually enjoying the food anymore, and you're just having the binge, and that's kind of that turn that we have to solve for. So some of the ways that I avoid that nighttime snacking are I'll have my hands busy while I'm watching TV. So if I'm crocheting or painting or researching my next vacation or something like that, my hands are busy. It's taking up that other part of the brain that's not entertained by the television. For a while, I cut out watching TV entirely to see if that would work. And it really doesn't in my household. It's how my husband and I connect, is over movies and shows that we really like watching together. But the other thing is, I have an alarm for my bedtime in the same way that I have an alarm for wake up time, where at 9:30 an alarm goes off and it's time for me to go downstairs and do my bedtime routine. So there just some of those things so that I don't slip into the screw it category have helped quite a bit. And like things like taking a bath like help me like feel nurtured without food. So yeah. Oh, somebody said it's wine for me. I love wine. So
I saw that too.
Why, girl? I live in Oregon where we've got some good wine here.
Yeah. We have somebody on Facebook. I wanted to read this one. It says, I'm on my journey to having gastric sleeve. Had my psychiatrist appointment today, hoping I can get cleared and have the surgery. Well, we're pulling for you, Allie. Let us know how it works out.
Yes, absolutely. There's always a way. There's always a way. We did get a question in the little question box saying, did you exercise to flatten your stomach and tighten flabby arms? So,
oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I started working out about 4 months post-op, and I wasn't as religious about exercise as I think my surgeon or any surgeon would want you to be. I was more concerned with getting really good at my water and protein habits first. And when you do incorporate exercise, you get a lot hungrier. So it's important to have the like solutions and habits built in on the earlier side of what you're eating before you're incorporating exercise. That being said, it does, increase the speed at which you lose weight in that first year. But I didn't start getting super regular with my exercise until it was for my mental health. So I, would go through dips of being on, I keep looking over at my Peloton as if you guys can see it, being on my bike for runs. But then I would dip out for a while because it's so hard to stay motivated for the long-term goals. Whereas I found once I started realizing that the days I worked out, mentally, I just felt a lot better. Once that realization happened, I was like, oh, okay, well, I want to work out today so I feel better today. And it wasn't, so that my body feels better at X time. So I do run and I do the Peloton, at least 3 or 4 times a week. I need to do more strength training, especially according to my physical therapist. But I always just had, my weight was pretty well distributed, even at my highest at 270 pounds. And so in pictures, it looks like I have a very flat stomach. I have had 2 kids, so it's not the whole truth. I've got the little thing down here. And if ever I am to get surgery, it'll probably be on my arms. But yes and no. Yes, I work out. No, it wasn't directed at specific parts of my body. So, yeah.
Let's see if there's any other questions, too. This one says, thank you. Unfortunately, I cannot make the May retreat. I am new to Crowdcast, and I like it. I'm 10 weeks post-surgery. Have lost 49 pounds. Yippee!
Yes.
This is Pamela, and look forward to more. So I guess that was more of a comment than a question, but it's great to hear that.
Thanks for sharing, guys. Yeah.
And then someone asked about the fall retreat, but it's still a surprise, so we can't answer that quite yet. Yes. When do you foresee that answer? When do you foresee that April. Being advertised?
Yeah, I plan on announcing and starting to publicize in April. So once we've closed down ticket sales for the May retreat, that's when we'll pivot to start promoting the fall retreat. If we have one, I'm feeling like 90% certain that we're going to do a fall retreat. We want to get some data on the May retreat and anybody who isn't able to make that one to understand why. Like, is it the location? Is it the timing, the days of the weeks, the time of the year? Because we want to make sure that we're not marching blindly into a habit. I guess that's what we've been talking about this whole time, but instead optimizing to make sure that we're creating something that really is valuable for as many people as we can in this community. And then the other piece that we will be launching soon, we're not really there yet, but we will be launching some local chapters. So one of the pieces that I think is really important, in addition to creating that like kind of national network of friendships, we want to make sure that we're creating the opportunity for people to meet and connect locally, so that you have a Barry friend who you can go for a walk with, or split a dinner with, or, you know, talk to regularly. So we'll be launching those this year as well. So make sure you put your email in at bariatricsociety.com. Make sure you're following us at on Instagram at Bariatric Society, and TikTok and Facebook, because that's where we'll be announcing more of this stuff as we launch it this year. It's going to be, I'm very, very excited.
Somebody
comments.
Yeah, Brittany, I'll let you read those. And I know there's one on Facebook here too.
Sure.
Or maybe you commented on that already.
It says, oh, Marcia says, where do we find information on the May retreat? Do you want to respond to her, Brenda?
Sure. I think Brittany posted.
She's on Facebook.
Oh, I can do that. That is on the Bariatric Society website. So I'll type that in.
I went ahead and put it in the chat box again on Crowdcast in case because sometimes it gets buried. So I just wanted to make sure it was easily accessible. Okay, so we got is it Ashley or Ashleya? We think.
I think it's Ashleya.
Ashleya? Okay.
Oh,
that's a pretty name.
Ashley. I was wrong.
Oh,
darn it, Ashley. I've been calling you Ashleya for like a year and a half now. Oh my goodness.
Well, at least, you know, she told now you know.
Now I
know. So she said location price for me, maybe a cheaper option / less days, not sure how to make that work.
Yeah, I think as we it probably won't be this year if I'm being honest, but as we get the local chapters going, the areas that have the most chapter activity, we'll be looking at doing regional retreats as well. And those would be shorter and obviously less cost impacting for people because there's not as much travel and being shorter. I mean, $400 for the ticket right now for those national retreats, because it is a 4-day event. It barely, if at all, covers the food costs that we have on site. So we can't go any cheaper than that for something as robust as a 4-day retreat in the tropical paradise. But we can scale back the events whenever we look to local things. So that's where we hope to make it more accessible to people in different price brackets.
Yeah, and some states are doing that already. I mean, we all three of us actually attended one in Ohio, the Renew conference that was probably, I don't know if it's been a month yet, but that was a lot of fun. And there was a lot of local people. So as she's saying, you know, as this all grows and each state kind of starts having their own little chapters and people who are interested in helping with organize those and doing those. Will this be something do you see this being something that you'll be organizing, or do you see it as being...
Oh, yeah. I'd be such a bottleneck. Can you imagine? So no, we'll be mobilizing people that are interested in getting involved in the bariatric space. So I get messages all the time from people that are just, you know, commenting on how amazing this community is and how they want to give back and participate. And so that's actually on my list for this week, is creating a form for, we don't know how exactly we're going to use people yet, but just a way to start collecting those people that are interested in participating in some of that stuff. So we know that, you know, for the local chapters, anybody can be a chapter host. And so that'll be one of the things that we build into that. But then I think there's other ways that people can get involved as well. We'll be trying to mobilize people within the community to see how they can participate in ways that make them feel empowered and like part of what's going on, which just feels good when you're in this process.
Wonderful. And Michelle says, I'd love to help with the local chapter. So kind of watch the Bariatric Society website is what I'd say. Definitely. On
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a lot of new info coming, so.
Yeah.
And feel free to direct message me at _hungry_mother. You know, especially if you're like, hey, you mentioned you were going to do this and I haven't seen it yet. Because it puts a little fire under my butt to get those.
I had a question, and I'm looking here to see. Oh, Stephanie accidentally. She'll come back. She'll be back here with us here shortly. It looks like Allie. Did you read this already? Allie says,
I did.
On the journey. Yeah, I just kind of got on Facebook. So glad you're back, Steph.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened.
I mean, I really think that we've shared a lot of stuff. And some wonderful, great things. We look forward to possibly meeting some of you out there that's either watching this call live or on the replay, because a lot of times people will come back. Sometimes it's easier to watch replays than it is live, and in connecting with us. And you know, if there's any closing points, anybody want to have any closing points? Anybody out there that's on the call, or Stephanie or Brittany?
Yeah, I would just encourage anybody, if you have any questions about weight loss surgery or retreat or book club, just direct message me. I respond to every message that I get. And join book club because it's amazing. And if you can wing it, join us at that May retreat. It is it's going to be a game changer. I'm very, very excited about what we have coming up.
Yeah. And watch out for an important announcement about that too, right?
Yep. Look at how good my poker face is. Yeah. There's a big announcement coming next month about the May retreat that we're pretty excited about. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you're following us on at Bariatric Society for all of that information. And we're just so excited. Like I feel so grateful.
I'm excited.
It's weird to be grateful for something that caused you so much heartache for so much of your life, but like I'm so grateful for my obesity, because without it I wouldn't have gotten weight loss surgery. I wouldn't have been introduced to this amazing community of people. And it is so hard to make friends as an adult. Like it is so hard to make friends as a grown-up. So you know, we have this thing that's a catalyst for friendship among us because we share this thing between us. And so I feel really grateful to that and to you guys, ProCare, for like doing things like this to bring people together as well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think I can speak for both of us that we're really excited to come to this second retreat and see everybody. And if anybody is on this call watching live or the replay, if you're going to make it, come and say hi to us, especially Steph. You know, there is one thing I wanted to say real quick, because I kind of saw this at the Renew event, and I think, you know, for someone to travel to a retreat like this, it's really putting themselves out there. And there is nothing more vulnerable or more proud, or brave, I guess I should say. And it makes me really proud, right? So if you are going to come to the May, please have some courage. Come and say hi to Steph, your other favorite people that are going to be there too. Come say hi to us. We're all, you know, we would love to meet you and talk to you. That's what these events are for. So.
Yes, and I am incredibly socially awkward, so I need people to come up to me.
See, I think you're hilarious. I don't think you're awkward at all.
I like get past my like incredible social awkwardness. I'm like, okay, let's make poop jokes because that's I can get an expected response.
I just laugh anytime I'm around you. Like you're one of those people that definitely
it's infectious. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Have the best sense of humor. You may call it awkward, but I love it. Like people just like being around you for that. I think just because you're just funny and you're just yourself.
I'm like, thank you.
That's why people love you so much. And I have to say too, thanks Bernadine. She's on Facebook and she said she's out 3 years from surgery and so helpful and encouraging. And Janine says thank you too. So
yes, thank you, ladies. We hope to see you there.
Yes, come see me in Orlando so I can snuggle all of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, we'll talk soon.
great week. Stay warm, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.